Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Emily if you are new, and I'm so happy you are here today. I'm going to be sharing with you some fall DIY home decor ideas using products from the Dollar Tree as well as a couple items from Walmart. I love the way these fall crafts turned out, and I hope that this will just inspire and motivate you to create something for your home for this holiday season on a budget. You can really transform a lot of these Dollar Tree products from something ugly into something really beautiful, and that is what we were doing today. So I hope you are excited for this. If you are, give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe obviously if you are new so I can continue to inspire and motivate you here from DIYs, decorating, lifestyle videos. And also if you love it, please be sure to share this video with your family and friends. That is just something that helps support me and I really appreciate it. So with that said, let's jump on into these beautiful fall DIYs.
Alrighty, the supplies you will want for this DIY is a glue gun, rope and sticks, some paint a color of choice, a foam pumpkin, florals of choice, and some smaller pumpkins as well. And again, you can do for these DIYs any color choice that you would want. So if you're into the oranges, leave the pumpkin orange. It's completely up to you. For this, I'm actually spray painting this with just some white paint. You can use whatever color you would like. I just give it a nice good coat, and it was just quicker than painting it by hand. But again, if you use like a chalk paint, it's much thicker and will fill in the holes a little bit better as well. And then once you have that done, let it dry obviously so it can detox. It does smell a little bit. And then take that back inside, and then you're going to take a knife and cut out about a 2-inch diameter hole in it. And you'll want to save that foam piece for a little bit later. I'm actually going to glue it down to the center of the pumpkin. I forget to show that part to you. Apparently, I don't know, I couldn't find it in the clip. So just know that you want to glue it down to the center if you want to. Not necessary, but totally up to you. The next step is to take some sticks. You can use thinner ones than these. These are just all the wood dowels that I had, and you're going to take these smaller pumpkins that are sold in a 3-pack from Dollar Tree, and you're going to add a little bit of hot glue to the very bottom, and you're just going to stick that stick in there. That way it gives it some height, because they're going to be basically like the floral stems. If you have wire, you can use wire for this step. Now this next step is optional, but I thought this would be really pretty to take the rope and put it down all the lines of the pumpkin just to make it look a little bit more pronounced. So you'll just want to measure from the top of the pumpkin to the bottom and then pull that rope apart, and you'll get 3 strings. You can leave the rope thicker if you want to. It's completely up to you. It's also from the Dollar Tree. Everything in this is from the Dollar Tree actually. So you'll want to just take a couple of those. I think I ended up using 12 pieces of rope, but again, you do what works for you. Take your glue gun and go right down the line, the dip line of the pumpkin, and then place that in there. And it can be a little squiggly if you want, or if you want it really straight, do what works for you. I did this to all of the dips in the pumpkin. So this will be how the pumpkin looks. I know the bottom and top don't look that great, but don't worry, it'll be covered up, so don't worry about that part. Next, you're going to take your florals and go ahead and trim those down. You'll definitely need some wire cutters for those. Now, Dollar Tree does carry wheat. I just had some fresh stuff on hand, so that is what I'm using. And again, see, I needed to cut it down just a little bit more. So don't be afraid to, cut your florals. You can leave them in the bushes if you want to and just spread them out. It's completely up to you. But I alternated between the feathers and the wheat, the pine cones, and then added the pumpkins in. And then you'll want to take the cotton stem that they actually have, and you can cut that down a little bit, which I think is really cool. These are only $1. If you're lucky, you can find them, and they're very real looking. So you just want to cut that right there. And then you put them into little strips, and then that way you can take one stem and get like 3 or 4 sprigs out of it, which is really cool. Now you can of course leave your pumpkin just like this, but then I saw my ribbon and I thought, oh, how pretty would that be if I alternated the stripes? So I'm just taking a little bit of glue and then gluing down the ribbon, and the things were separated just enough to where the ribbon fit. You can trim the ribbon if you need to. It's not a big deal, and you can do this every other piece or every piece. It's completely up to you, but I'll show you the way it looks both ways. So I really like the way this turned out. I'm going to show you the way it looks without the ribbon first. And I added a little sunflower in there. It's very neutral. You can add more florals if you want. It's completely up to you, but I like that rustic look to it. Very natural, and it's just pretty. This is the way it looks with the ribbon alternating, so you can choose which one you like the best. For the next DIY, you're going to need wood letters or decals, a glue gun, paint of your choice, and then this pumpkin sign with the footballs on it. Or you can just find the pumpkins itself. My Dollar Tree does not have just the pumpkin forms, so I am using the garland, and I'm just pulling the football parts off, and then I'm adding some hot glue where the ribbon is to shorten up the ribbon a little bit. It's not necessary. You can leave it the way it is. It's completely up to you. It's completely up to you, like I said. So next you're going to take some sandpaper or just the football and sand off that glittered lettering that is on there. It does puff out just a little bit, but don't worry about it. Next, I'm using brown, gold, a little bit of black, and I'm going to be using green, but I'm taking white Waverly chalk paint and I'm spreading that all over the pumpkin itself. And you'll want to do a nice thick coat on this. Of course, if you want to speed up the drying process, get out your blow dryer and make sure it's dry. So you can kind of see the lettering on there, but we're going to cover that up. So the next step was to take a little bit of the black paint and then apply that to the wood letters. Dollar Tree does carry these. They carry a couple different styles depending on which store you go to, really. So you could use the decals. I'm going to show you both ways just so you see it for reference. Now the fun part of painting the pumpkins. Now I'm doing very light strokes with a very thin brush here, and I'm taking the gold first and I'm going kind of away and then working myself around. I saw a sign at Joann's and I thought I could totally recreate that, except theirs was more green and orange and I didn't want those colors. So I'm using the gold and a little bit of brown for more neutrals. You could do grays and blacks, you could do pink and purple, you could do orange and greens if you want to. It's completely up to you, but you can see how I'm kind of feathering that down. I'm dry brushing it down the center of it, and I'm giving it a very nice rustic look. I'm outlining the edges and then just coming up from the bottom to give it that little bit of a depth. And of course the signs are kind of curved, which helps the appeal of them as well. So just work with it and then take the darker color and kind of highlight in between your lighter pieces, giving that texture and that depth, and it gives it a really realistic look. I really love the way this turned out. I did a lot of this type of painting last year with my crafts, and it's just so much fun. It's just a joy to sit there and craft and, you know, get out some of my creative juices, I guess you could say. So once I had that on, I decided to take a little bit of the green paint by Waverly. You can use whatever color. It's more of a muted matte color, and I did the tip of the pumpkin and I think it just accentuated it. And see how it kind of draws down in the middle, kind of brings it out and makes it look real, and I just think it's so pretty. So I repeated the same process to all three pumpkins. Now that they are dry, I'm gonna apply the decals, and I wanted to show you what it looked like with both. I don't know, I'm kind of torn. I like both equally, so I just placed them about an inch from the bottom, and I spelled out the word happy for the first one, and then fall for the next one, and then y'all for the other one. You can write whatever you like. You can put pumpkin spice, everything nice. It's completely up to you. You could get 2 sets of these and go even further and make a longer sign with it if you wanted to. You can even use a Sharpie to write in the letters if you wanted to, or just regular paint. It's completely up to you. Next, I'm going to take some Mod Podge and just cover up the decal letters. That way it'll wear better. So this is how the sign came out, and I think it is so pretty. I love that metallic gold on there just to highlight it. And again, you can do whatever you would like with it. This is how it looks hanging, but I also wanted to show you what it would look like if you did it as a sitting sign. So I'm going to be using this little thankful sign that you can get at the Dollar Tree as well. And what I decided to do was score off the plaid on it. I really like that, and I thought that this looked better than the red and orange one. But again, they have two different types of signs you could use for this, so use whatever you would like. I added a little bit of glue to the tips of it and then just glued that together, making it basically a skinnier sign depth-wise. And then I took the one end piece, cut that in half, and then added that on each side to cover it up and make it just basically a smaller box. And then I took some popsicle sticks and cut them down a bit, and then I'm just going to glue those to the back of each of the pumpkin, leaving a little bit of extra so that way I can glue it to the inside of the sign, and it will stand up for us. Again, you can do this however you would like. It's up to you. I overlaid mine just a little bit, that way it would fit properly into the sign, and I think it came out so cute. You could leave it just like this, but I wanted to cover up the popsicle sticks, so I ended up using a little bit of rope for this part, just cutting it down. I had the first piece go around each of the edges, and then I did a second piece because there's still a little bit of a gap, and I added that in. You could do greenery in this, you could do whatever you like, but I think this is just absolutely adorable. I love it, and I actually prefer it sitting this way than the other way, but of course you choose the style that you want. For the next DIY, you're going to need some burlap leaves, a glue gun, pumpkins, florals of your choice. I'm going to be using some cream paint, and then I'm going to be using these two pumpkin signs as well as this wagon wheel. I have a full tutorial on how I made that during springtime, so I will leave that video link down below. It's extremely easy. It's using a hula hoop and some long wooden dowels and some foam board. So to speed up the process of removing this label, I heated it up. Still didn't want to come off. I didn't think it was going to be this hard to get this label off. So after I scrubbed it just a bit, I took it outside and actually sprayed it with the white spray paint, but it was a little too stark for me. So I let that dry, and then I took the other sign and used a knife just to cut off the harvest blessing part of it. And I then took this cream color paint from Waverly, and I poured way too much out. I wanted to show you the realities of doing DIY. Guys, I mess up a ton. It's a give and take. Some days it goes well, other days I just make a mess. So I wanted to show you that, but see how much it's warming it up a bit, and I thought this would go better with the color scheme that I'm doing, just so it wouldn't be so stark. But I'm gonna fan that out, and I kind of go in the direction of the pumpkin, kind of making swirls, if that's what you want to call it, just getting a little bit of curve, that way it dries really nicely. Now I'm going to take this greenery, which is actually from Walmart. I told you I was going to use a few pieces from there. Dollar Tree does carry some, it's just not as full though. And then I'm going to take this other greenery, which is like a form of eucalyptus from Dollar Tree. It's $2 a piece, and I split that in half and then just layered that in. And I like the different colors of green kind of coming out. Again, you do whatever colors you want. You could use leaves for this portion if you wanted to, but if you kind of see the theme here, I'm doing a little bit more on the neutral side. So I just glued those around, and I would suggest putting the greenery closer together at the bottom. I ended up having to actually add more greenery there because I made it too large for the spot. The next step was to take the cotton stems that Dollar Tree has and layer them in. And again, you can cut or glue these in. I just kind of wired mine around. They're really nice. I like these a lot. And again, you can pull off the different stems if you want to and do it that way. Now I debated on what leaves to use for this. I was originally going to use their dark brown glittered leaves that Dollar Tree has, but I liked the burlap better, and they are wired so you can move them around a little bit. I just thought they were pretty. I think this pack only came with 5 because it's all I could find. Maybe one of the kids took one, I'm not really sure, but you'll see that one side has 3, the other side has 2. So just keep that in mind. You can do however many or as little as you want. Next, I added in these smaller mini mums to it because I just wanted a little bit more florals to it. Again, use whatever florals you want. Dollar Tree has a ton. You can get them from Walmart. Walmart has great bundles for $5, tons of florals on it, so a really good price, really nice quality. And I just layered those in different spots. And then the next step was to take these little clip-on pumpkins. You can glue them on or clip them on. I just clipped mine on. I would like to have used a couple different sizes, but these were what they had, and that was just what I had in my stock, so I made it work. I think it could use a couple more, but you know, hey, we're using what we got. So this is the way it's looking, and you can see I'm attaching a little bit of lamb's ear to the very bottom because I left too big of a spot for the sign that I had made. So you could add a bow here if you wanted to, use the Dollar Tree scarf if you wanted to, but I'm going to be adding the sign that we painted. I decided to take some of that green paint and highlight the stems, and then I ended up fanning it out because it just didn't look the way I wanted it to. And again, you can paint the sign whatever color you would like, but I think it looks much better kind of filling it in and making it more like a natural leaf would look for a pumpkin. And I really like their signs for different DIYs. They have great quality for just $1. Next, I added some hot glue to the back of the harvest blessing sign. And again, you can use whatever saying that you want, but I thought this was so cute, especially on its own. It's adorable. But then I just glued it to the back of the sign here, and this is the way it turned out. I think it's really pretty. You could do this as a traditional wreath. I did mine as a wagon wheel wreath, and I think it's really, really pretty. So let me know which one is your favorite. Also, if you decide to recreate any of these, please tag me on Instagram so I can repost in my stories. I hope you all enjoy these fall DIY decor ideas. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you were new, and I will leave a fall playlist link down in the description box for you. I hope you all have an amazing day. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.
Can't get enough of this. Being with you is like never ending sunshine. Feels like everything stops for a while. forever.